Sam Altman and Peter Thiel. The day will eventually come when mankind's tenure on Earth comes to an end, and with nuclear threats and environmental dangers looming, the super-rich have begun creating elaborate contingency plans to safeguard their well-being. One common thread through billionaires' doomsday survival plans is that they consider New Zealand among the best candidates for building a haven. The reasons for choosing New Zealand appear to relate to its politics as well as its geography. It's sparsely populated while being politically stable. Its high terrain also makes it a suitable place to shelter from the consequences of climate change. One prime example of these plans is Peter Thiel, the former managing director of PayPal and an early investor in Facebook, who sought planning permission to construct a sprawling 10-bedroom bunker compound in New Zealand. Thiel purchased a 477-acre piece of land for this purpose in 2015, allegedly costing $13.5 million. According to architectural plans, designed by the same company responsible for designing the Japanese Olympic Stadium, Thiel aims to equip his compound with a meditation space, a theater, a spa, and various other extravagant amenities. A fellow tech entrepreneur and friend of Thiel's, Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, and a key player in the quest to develop a super-powerful artificial general intelligence, has also expressed his intention to hunker down, speaking openly about how he preps for apocalyptic scenarios. Altman believes that amongst the most likely catastrophic events are a pandemic involving a modified strain of bird flu, malicious artificial intelligence, and nuclear warfare prompted by a scarcity of resources. Altman confessed in a 2016 interview, quote, "I have guns, gold, potassium iodide, antibiotics, batteries, water, and gas masks from the Israeli Defense Force." Altman's current stated plan, however, is to fly to New Zealand to join Thiel and take shelter there. Thiel managed to obtain citizenship, but the local New Zealand council ultimately rejected his plans after a number of environmental protests, on the grounds that the natural landscape would be too greatly disturbed by the development. Thiel and Altman are just two of many wealthy individuals buying plots of land in New Zealand to build apocalypse shelters. Zuckerberg Doomsday Bunker. One of the most infamous and influential billionaires in the world is constructing a top-secret survival compound in Hawaii, according to an article published by Wired in December 2023. The construction project began to draw attention from the locals and tourists when huge vehicles carrying immense quantities of building materials began to deliver to the site, which was already walled off, obscured from view, and patrolled by security guards. All employees working at the site have been forced to sign gag orders, preventing them from disclosing any details, and everyone involved is having their social media closely monitored for mentions of Mark Zuckerberg's project. Despite these measures, Wired reports that the compound, which features a 5,000-square-foot underground bunker, occupies a 1,400-acre piece of land purchased by Zuckerberg for an estimated $270 million. Reportedly costing an additional $100 million, the bunker is likely to be one of the most expensive properties ever built. Because of the secrecy that shrouds it, speculation on the project is rife. Some have suggested that Zuckerberg is building an underground city capable of surviving a range of world-ending events, and others believe that it will be a mecca for tech industry leaders. Architectural plans have revealed that the structure will incorporate blast-proof doors, protecting a huge number of bedrooms, bathrooms, living spaces, and more. At the center of the 12-building compound are two mansions with a combined floor area of 57,000 feet. The central mansions are fitted with high-tech, luxurious furnishings, hidden doors, and a comprehensive surveillance system. Also planned are 11 interconnected treehouses that link the buildings, gyms, pools, spas, a library, tennis courts, and much more, enabling guests to navigate the compound without crossing the ground. Fully self-sufficient, the buildings are fed from a private water tank, and the surrounding land is already producing a variety of foods. Cameras cover the buildings inside and out, and the bunker can be accessed via an escape hatch for emergencies. Zuckerberg's Doomsday Bunker is well under construction, and he has apparently already hosted events at the location. FTX Island. In a revelation reminiscent of a plot from a high-stakes thriller, Sam Bankman-Fried, the once celebrated founder of the XTX cryptocurrency exchange, finds himself at the center of a staggering lawsuit that includes accusations of a scheme as audacious as it is bewildering: the acquisition of an entire nation as a post-apocalyptic haven. Filed by FTX, the lawsuit against its former CEO and 3 of his former executives seeks a colossal sum of $1 billion. As part of the lawsuit, the company included a memo exchanged between Bankman-Fried's brother, Gabriel, and an executive of the XTX Foundation, discussing a plan to purchase Nauru, a small Pacific island nation. The memo outlines a chilling scenario: constructing a bunker/shelter in Nauru to safeguard a select group in the event of a global catastrophe, one where, quote, 50 to 99.99% of people die. This sanctuary was intended to ensure the survival of EAs, a reference to effective altruists, followers of a movement that Bankman-Fried fervently championed, aiming to maximize the impact of charitable actions. Intriguingly, the FTX Foundation thought there was enough evidence to consider a doomsday refuge as a rational investment. The document also outlines ambitions for, quote, human genetic enhancement, proposing a specialized laboratory within Nauru's territory. This plan was part of a broader vision, suggesting additional yet unspecified uses for the sovereign country, with a population of around 12,000. The lawsuit characterizes the FTX Foundation as, quote, a purported charity that served little purpose other than to enhance the public stature of defendants. Despite its philanthropic facade, the lawsuit alleges that the founders and executives sought personal gain, prioritizing their safety and reputation over altruistic goals. Bankman-Fried was arrested in December 2022 and extradited from the Bahamas to the U.S. He has since been convicted of misappropriating billions of dollars from investors and could face a significant prison sentence. Ultra-wealthy stakeholders. In 2022, media theorist Douglas Rushkoff was flown to a secret location to meet with 5 of the wealthiest men in the world, so that he could provide them with advice regarding how best to survive an environmental or political disaster. While the desert location of the meeting and the names of the ultra-wealthy stakeholders are undisclosed, Rushkoff's article for The Guardian offered a fascinating glimpse into the specific plans being made by the ultra-wealthy. Rushkoff recalled that the stakeholders, quote, rolled their eyes when he made a case for peace and cooperation. They were apparently interested only in self-preservation, and they had prepared a number of questions to ask Rushkoff. Amongst their questions were those relating to the best location for building survival complexes, with Alaska and New Zealand being the primary candidates. The stakeholders wanted to know which was less vulnerable to both climate change and political upheaval. From there, the questions grew progressively more sinister. The stakeholders went on to inquire which of the potential disasters would be most significant and how long they should plan to shelter for. Their questions also addressed the logistics of building a bunker, private air supplies, anti-contamination measures, and, perhaps most alarmingly, how to protect the survival bunker in a post-disaster world. One concern held by the wealthy stakeholders was that the security forces they hired to protect a compound from raiders might turn on the employers and seize control. Potential solutions for this included controlling the food supply with combination locks, forcing guards to wear collars through which they could be punished, and even constructing defensive robots. The fact that Rushkoff's proposals of a peaceful solution were disregarded says a great deal about the stakeholders, and perhaps about what we can expect to see in the coming years. Bezos' 10,000-year clock. Not all doomsday structures are designed to shelter people. The 10,000-year clock, owned by Jeff Bezos and buried deep within a Texas mountain, exists to preserve time as we know it. Intended to endure any doomsday scenario, whether political, societal, nuclear, or environmental, the clock, also known as the Clock of the Long Now, is expected to have cost $42 million once finished. This elaborate timepiece will function for the next 10,000 years, ticking once per year, with the hour hand progressing once every century, and a cuckoo appearing once every 1,000 years. Although funded by Bezos Expeditions, the clock was conceived by artist Danny Hills in the late 1980s as an embodiment of time as perceived by humans. The principles behind the clock's design include longevity, accuracy, maintainability, readability, and adaptability. It is intended that future generations can keep the clock accurately ticking and make modifications or repairs. Explored methods of powering the clock include nuclear and solar, but Hills ultimately settled on manual winding, with a human required to keep it ticking. It is intended to combine digital and mechanical systems to keep time, and use a chiming system that can produce a different ringing sequence every day for the full 10,000 years. 5 chambers will accompany it to celebrate its major anniversaries, although some of the specifics of these will be left up to future generations. In the interest of longevity, it is being created in a way that is as close to indestructible as possible. Although still under construction, the Clock of the Long Now is intended as a visitor attraction, and Bezos hopes it becomes an iconic symbol of humanity. Despite this, actually visiting will be challenging, requiring a steep hike and a scramble up to a height of 2,000 feet. With several innovative minds turning their attention to the possibility of apocalyptic events, and some even disregarding the possibility of peaceful coexistence, it may be time for us all to prepare. If the wealthiest people in the world are all planning for doomsday, should we be worried? Let me know in the comments. As always, thank you for watching Dark 5. Like and subscribe to continue exploring the greatest mysteries of this world and beyond.